What's up, guys? On the fly, the final score and triple threat main event. This is our Monday update. Yeah, I wasn't, I wasn't on much of any last. I don't even know if I was on last week. Um, Last week was a rough week. Came down Monday night. Came down with, I guess it was the flu, and I kept that for a while. I had it till uh, shoot, Saturday. I went back to work. I'll put it that way. So still a little stuffy, but I'm doing a lot better than I was. I hope you guys have avoided the flu bug or whatever sickness going around. But two weeks before the Fat Man comes, 2 weeks from today. Hope everybody's got their shopping done. I haven't finished mine yet. Um, yeah, I'm a little behind, but I'll get it. I'll get it done. We always do. Um, got another freaking hacker on somebody's hacked Facebook. I know that was not that person. Um, wow, a lot going on. I guess I had a Kiss hangover from the final show, which was Saturday night before last. And I'd made the comment on here. I doubted I would get the pay per view because it was. I had a feeling it was going to be nothing special. After they said Bruce Kulick was not going to be there, I figured if he wasn't going to be there, then they were going to have nothing special was going to go on. And I was right. I did get the pay per view, $40. Yeah, I figured the best way to see him off after being a fan for 45 years. And was I disappointed? Yes, I was very disappointed. There was no emotion, no mention of any. I knew. I mean, Peter and Ace is one thing. But to not mention anybody that helped you get there, you had your manager, Billy Coin, who was responsible for getting you um, your success. I mean, he got you over. He was funding. I think he funded one tour with his American Express card before they got big. And not even mention him, Eric Carr. I mean, come on, this guy's no longer with us, and it, it's it was just ridiculous. And then by the way, guys, this is not really Stevie. This is an avatar. I've got a stain on my shirt. Sorry about that. This is an avatar. Stevie Fly avatar. That's the way they're in. That's the way they're introducing themselves um, on the freaking videos that they're doing. Paul Stanley avatar, Eric Singer avatar, and I'm like, this is cringy. I mean, you may want to get it out there, and Kiss is what they said. Your power, what was it? They said your power has made us immortal, and I'm like, oh boy. So we're gonna have Avatar cartoon characters from Kiss go on tour from now on, and I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. I guess it's the best way for them to keep money rolling. I was hoping that there was going to be some kind of announcement like we're going to start putting out vintage stuff. We're going to look out for you guys. Um, no such deal. But that's the way it goes sometimes. You can't always get what you want. But yeah, it was just a disappointment. I didn't I didn't go out of there after it was over thinking, wow, that was just special. Nothing close to it. The only emotion I really saw um, was Gene after it was over with. I mean, he got interviewed backstage, and then he was talking about um, then he was talking about his a kidney stone on the head of his. He said cock, and then he realized he was on not on national TV. He was on people. Millions of people were seeing him, and he changed it to a something. I forgot what he said, but yeah, he got a little emotional backstage. And I'll tell you this: if you got a chance, now, of course, the next day you could watch all of this on YouTube for free. Um, if you get a chance to watch it, watch him do God of Thunder the last time. If the way he did it, and I'm sure he did it like this on the whole tour, but the way he did it this last time, with the bell, like a big old clock or bell going off when it was great. It was probably it was scary. I'll put it that way. I was like, whoa, this is pretty scary here. But Gene is they're done now. Um, and it's and I was like, how's it gonna be? And I've been thinking, how's it gonna be with when they're gone? And it was no different. I mean, nothing that nothing different. I mean, it's not like I'm going, oh God, Kiss is not there anymore. So, I'm not going to cry about it or anything. I didn't cry or anything like that. But let's talk a little bit about, oh gosh, football. And man, is football getting stupid. Between college with these guys, the whole transfer portal. I think I may have froze up on you guys for a minute. The whole transfer portal is totally out of whack, and the NIL, of course, it's turning into. And you look at Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State. I think he's a junior. You see my dog back there trying to find her a comfortable place to sit down. But Marvin Harrison Jr. made a comment this past week. I can make just as much money with NIL as I would. He probably get paid more to stay at Ohio State with the NIL money. So, and he said, plus I want to come back one more year and get another chance to beat Michigan. So what would you do? I mean, stay in school. Stay another year. If you're going to get paid that much money to stay in school, why would you go pro? You're going to get paid more. I'd stay in school. But I had somebody, my buddy Robbie Birdsong, post on the Final Score Facebook group. What did I think about these players sitting out? And I don't know how much, I was on another podcast last night, The Sports Objective, with Bubba Rosenbaum, David Richmond, Kyle Barber, and Matt Semenza. And we were giving our bowl picks. We did part one. And before every bowl game we were picking, the first question was, is their quarterback playing in this bowl? And I don't know how many it was. It was a good amount that are not playing in this bowl. And that's just Robbie Birdsong asked me, what do you think about these players sitting out bowl games? And this is what he said. I believe it needs to be mandatory or forfeit money promised per player. Definitely not acceptable for a school giving them an opportunity to succeed in life. I agree. If we're going to do this whole, and it may come to this, I don't know. If we're going to do this whole bowl college playoff system, I mean, what you got 4 now, and I think I don't know how many it's expanding to next year. I am live. Am I lagging a little bit, Greg? Because it looks like I'm lagging a little bit. But anyway, let me see what Greg says about that. Greg's the only comment I've seen so far, so maybe making sure this wasn't old. Oh, are you saying I've said this before? But yeah, I just if you're gonna do this playoff system, then guess what? If these guys don't make the playoff, then chances are that quarterback's going to sit out, or a key player is going to sit out. And that ain't the way it's supposed to be, guys. You know, I mean, say what you want to about, well, they can't take a risk and get hurt in this game because it'll mess up the draft status. Well, guess what? What did they play the other 11 or 12 games for? I mean, just because it didn't, that's just like saying, well, I'm going to work today, but if it doesn't, if I don't like what I'm seeing by day 4 or 5, I'm going to sit out the 5th day. I mean, and people probably do that, but still, you don't. You made a commitment to that team and to that university. How about even if you don't care about the university or that gave you a scholarship, most of you a scholarship, and paid for you to get an education? What does that say about those other guys sitting on that team that don't have that luxury of being able to sit out that game to and their draft status won't be hurt? What about the ones that want to win that bowl game, that want to go out with some momentum for next year? I mean, now I'm seeing what Sam Hartman from Notre Dame is going to sit out and he's entered the draft. So it's just an entitled place all around. I mean, everywhere you look, it's just entitled. Well, I don't have to do this. They're telling me it's not going to hurt my draft status if I go. Guess what? You think back in the 80s, any of these guys would have done that? They wanted to play. They wanted to win. That's the difference and they had loyalty to their teammates. This crap is getting totally out of control. And somebody told me the other day, I'd rather watch college football than, it was one of my cousins actually, James Phillips. If you're listening out there, what's up, James? I'd rather watch college football than professional football. And I'm like, well, you better not get too used to that because it's going to become just as bad before long. And I'm like, I really, did I give up? Something's going on with my computer, guys. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not, but something just went bloop. I don't see the screen anymore. So just give me a second. Let's see. There we go. Anyway, it's going to get that way. And it's going to ruin college football and professional sports. Yeah. Football, look at Greg, you're exactly right. If he'll let me bring this thing up, because I don't know if I'm freezing on you guys now or not, but it's my screen saying not responding. So if I can bring your comment up right quick, I'll do it. But anyway, if you can hear me, you can hear me. I'll bring your comment up as soon as it lets me. There we go. There. Football is now about money. They don't play for the love of the game as much as the love of that money. You're right. And I mean, I know these guys are going to make a career out of sports, football. Robbie Birdsong, I hope you're out there. I'm talking about your comment. I know these guys are making a career out of it. I understand that, and they've got to look out for their career. But it's funny. All these years before this crap started, it didn't matter to hurt many of these top players to play in their bowl game, whether they were going to win the national championship or not. Back in the day, that looked like being selfish. I mean, if you wanted to sit out your bowl game, it looked like you were abandoning your teammates. And I just don't like it. I mean, you can tell me what you want to, argue me till you're blue in the face. I don't like when you played 11 or 12 games, managed to not get hurt, then all of a sudden you think in this bowl game you're gonna get hurt. I'm scared I'm gonna get hurt. No, you don't want to play, you want to sit at home. I don't know who Facebook user is right now, but it doesn't show me who you are. I don't know if it's Robbie Birdsong or who, but identify yourself. It's all selfish now with the portal and NIL. Yeah, I mean, just like with the portal, a guy gets to a place, plays a year, says, I don't like it here. I'm going to just go to another place. And these guys do it. I mean, I know there's a limit to how many times you can do it and not have to sit out the following year. At least I have Leroy. It's Robert Matthews. But yeah, I don't get it. I will never get it. You can argue me. You give me all the points and all that. But the era I came from, that's like getting to the playoffs. Say I don't want to play anymore. I'm scared I'm gonna get hurt. And I have seen that happen before. I mean, I've witnessed it in coaching, and I didn't like it then. I hated it. I was so mad. Um, but yeah, that's where I stand on that. I don't like it. I think you should be like Birdsong said. You need to money should be forfeited if they don't play in that game. NIL money should be forfeited if they don't play in that game. But that's never going to happen. It's going to get worse, guys. It's going to get worse. Speaking of that, now look, I've said this many times up here. I don't watch the NBA anymore. It's not like it. Another thing that is not like it used to be. And this whole in-season tournament that they did, that's all fine. Great. I mean, college basketball has that what they used to have that at the first of the season, that NIT championship, the tournament, that's fine. It's an in-season tournament. But now that LaFlop has won, their team wins it, they're going to make T-shirts, commemorative T-shirts for the in-season, whatever they call in that freaking thing, tournament champion, because LeBron and his company won it. And I guarantee somebody made the comment the other day I thought was hilarious. Now LeBron's going to count that as one of his rings. Yeah, he probably will. He'll probably say, well, Jordan never won one of these. That's because they didn't have it back then. Jordan won more crap than you'll ever even think about. You can't hold Jordan's jockstrap, whoever, the king. Did you see him get into it with that, what was that coach from the Suns? I may be wrong who it was. But yeah, the coach for the Suns and him had it out. And then there was talking back and forth. And then you throw the coach out and don't throw LeBron out. I think he called him soft ass or something like that. Said, why are you coming at me? Why are you coming over here at me? He won't talking to you. He just said, stop. Stop bitching and play ball. That's all he said. And then LeBron was like, well, that's got to be Eric Sawyer. How about them Cowboys? I'm getting to that in just a minute. Yeah. I just don't understand, the LeBron either. That NBA, I'm gonna say this, you NBA fans can say what you want to. NBA is the joke of professional sports. I mean, the joke of professional sports. I will never, the way it is now, I couldn't watch it. Couldn't do it. When you've got every team, even the losing team, are averaging over 100 points. Every game you look at, there's not many of those NBA games where both scores are not in the hundreds. I mean, some of them like 150 to 120. This ain't the freaking Paul Westhead, Denver Nuggets or whatever. Come on, give me a break. We need to, I don't know. What's up, David? See, David, I was talking about you. I was talking about you a little earlier about the whole college football deal. We were talking about the guy sitting out. Sam Hartman from Notre Dame has said he's not going to play. So if you don't, I guess if you don't make the college football playoffs, you can choose not to play in the bowl game. So let's just do away with all of the other bowl games except for the playoffs. How about that? Let's just make it easy on all these guys that want to sit out. Do away with all of the other bowl games, and when they go to 12, just have those guys up there. That'll take care of that. That'll never happen because the NCAA wants to get so much of that money from the sponsors of these bowl games. What about these bowl game names? The Toastery, and I know that is a what is something Toastery Bowl. That's I know it's a restaurant up in Charlotte, but I saw that I was like, what? And then the Pop Tart Bowl. Um, hey, we need to get a Final Score Bowl going, and I mean we can invite a team. I know there's probably another team joining the 80 other teams that's in the bowl games now, or 40 other teams that's in the bowl game. Excuse me. I don't know, guys. I'm just really frustrated with sports right now. Um, Not because of how somebody's playing, just the attitudes right now, the attitudes that are out there. And it's no, not all of these guys are like that. I get that, but the ones that are sticking out like a sore thumb, and it's just getting, it's getting where you don't really even want to watch it. I don't know which one of you said this, but I was getting ready to get to this right here. Um, I always said that these kids don't care anymore for their teams, but I feel like Georgia and Florida State should show up to the bowl game and just forfeit. Okay, let's get to Florida State. Undefeated season, ACC champions, and Eric Sawyer. Okay, good point. And they don't make the playoffs. Okay, Michigan undefeated, Washington undefeated. Get it. Texas, one loss. Alabama, one loss. And the excuse they give for how Florida State got left out, they did it because your quarterback situation. You're down to your third string quarterback. Big freaking deal. Do you think? No, I disagree with you totally, John Denton. TCU got there last year. Everybody's going like, well, they don't want TCU to have the whole TCU thing in. But guess what? TCU beat Michigan in the semifinals. TCU beat somebody to get to that championship game. No, FSU did get the shrub. I mean, look at Georgia. Georgia was the number one team all year long. 4 teams is not enough, but it doesn't matter. College football is turning into the craps. Florida State's defense was solid. You think, John Denton, let me ask you this. Do you think if Alabama wins their game, I get what you're saying. Alabama gets down to their third string quarterback. Tell me the NCAA takes them out of it, tells them that. Tell me that Texas, if they get down to their third string quarterback, that the NCAA tells them that. No, they're not going to tell them that because it's all about freaking ratings. It's all about money. And that's what's killing it for me. John, I mean, I don't know you, bud. They do not. No, they do not tell you think they're going to tell an SEC team with one loss. Let's say Alabama goes undefeated. They get down to third string quarterback. You think that NCAA is going to tell them that they're not going to make that 4? No. They want to favor these certain teams, and daggum well. I don't know if you're an Alabama fan or what, and I don't care. I don't care if it was I'm not a Florida State fan. I do not like Florida State, but right is right and wrong is wrong. I mean, you're not going to convince me on that, guy. And people have tried. It's just not right. I wouldn't blame Florida State. UNAC. Who is that? UNC. Okay. But I'm just saying, I'm not a Florida State fan. Look. I would love to see Florida State not even win, but they did it. I mean, they got there despite a third string quarterback. I mean, if the Bears, okay, let's go back in time, 1985, Chicago Bears, exactly, Power 5. If you're classifying in that conference as a Power 5 conference, then you cannot let an undefeated Power 5 conference champion get in. That's it in a nutshell. The fact of the matter is they were like, well, we're gonna just put these teams in. Don't worry. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. John Michael Timberlake. I knew you had a little bit of sense. And he said, period. I don't know about that, John. I'm a Carolina basketball fan. I don't know about that anymore. It used to be, but that aura has kind of disappeared over the last last 4 or 5 years. It's not. You're not going to Carolina and thinking, okay, we walk into the Smith Center and they're not intimidated like they used to be when they came there anymore. That's kind of faded. Playoff bracket bigger, or go back to the old way you need to make the playoff bracket bigger. That's the thing. Make the playoff bracket bigger. And they're going to do that. Okay, I got that. Next year, if this was the situation, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And that's the truth. But I like it. I like the fact they're going that direction. But, this last year of it is just leaving a bad taste in everybody's mouth about. I mean, unless you're an Alabama fan or, Texas probably deserved to get in there. Texas beat Alabama. I mean, Alabama beat Georgia, but number 3 seed should have been. If you're going to put, I don't have a problem. You don't know, John. That's the thing, John. You never know. You never know. Yeah, I mean, look at some of these major upsets over the years. When they went into that, and there were some of these games that you saw guys that didn't have a chance to win, and they come out and beat these teams that are really favored a lot more than them. Going into that game, did you think they were going to win? And I wish biggest upsets in history over the years, and right now for some reason none come to my mind. But did you really think that they were going to win? No. You got to play on the field. You don't know what can happen when you get out there. Greg A., I don't care. Alabama beat Georgia. Georgia won back-to-back and lost one game this year. They should be in the 4. Good. That's a good thing. John Michael, yes. It's a team game, not a quarterback game. Some of the biggest upset you've seen in the history of sports, you're going to sit there and tell me that going in, they asked. You're probably right about that. TCU, but guess what? TCU got there, and then they beat Michigan. They upset Michigan. So in my opinion, that goes, and Michigan was one of the best teams in football last year. Honest to God, did you think TCU? Yeah, App State versus Michigan that year. Did you go into that game thinking App State was going to beat Michigan? No. Did anybody? No. Nobody but those App State players. But that don't mean they didn't play it. That don't mean that everybody said, okay, don't even go. Let's not even go. If you do that, if you're going to say, well, if it's not going to be a good game, then you don't need to play a freaking game at all. Just call off the whole freaking college football, because you never know what's going. You can put this game on paper, and you can match these guys up on paper, but that paper, when you get on that field, and that's when that's going to be the telltale sign. You don't know. You never know what's going to happen till they get on that field. I guess this is Eric Sawyer. He hates Alabama. They're a good football team, but I almost lost to Auburn. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. Alabama barely beats the Auburn team. A 4th and 31, and they get a Hail Mary pass and win the game. I know Auburn is not a good team this year. Not one of the better years for Auburn. So, I mean, if you really want to go back and look through all these teams up here, ACC, and everybody said, well, ACC is not strong. ACC was 6-4 versus the SEC this year. Winning record versus the SEC. So, I mean, okay, I mean, Alabama had one loss. Alabama had one loss. I see what you're saying, but Alabama, you had 3 Power 5 undefeated conference champions. 3. That should be automatic right there. Alabama, Texas. Okay, let's do this then. Alabama wins. We won the SEC. Texas won. But guess what? Let's go head to head. Texas beats Alabama. So Alabama's out. Texas is in. That's how you do it. I know you're not arguing. And look, I don't know you. I mean, I'm glad you came in here. This is what we do in here. And sometimes I do get fired up. I'm not arguing with you by any means either. I enjoy having a debate like this. But you've got your opinion, and I love it. And the fact that you've got your own opinion, and I've got mine, and I don't think any ill will towards you, John, by any means. I don't think any ill will towards you. That's what people need to realize. You can have difference of opinions these days and not hate each other. I mean, thank you for coming in here, John, by the way. I appreciate it. When you have 4 spots for Power 5 conferences, it's going to screw someone, but shouldn't. Yes, exactly. I mean, everybody said, look at Liberty. Liberty's not in a Power 5 conference, but look at where they're playing, though. Liberty's playing Oregon on, New Year's Day? That is awesome for Liberty. This is what happened. He was better than freaking Charger fans, dude. Good Lord. What? Hey, I know you're kidding. But yeah, look, Liberty, that is one of the great stories right there. Liberty is playing Oregon, and maybe they'll get blown out, but maybe not. You don't know until you play. you what is it Herman Edwards said that time? You play the game. You go to play the game, or something like that. I can't remember, but everybody's seen that Herman Edwards quote 100 times, I know. Robert Matthews. I don't see maybe an NFL quarterback they're projecting first round. First overall. Only way you're going to get right is have top 25 playoffs. And they could. I've said this for a long time, John. Instead of having like a 2-week break between, or week break, you play to win the game. Exactly, Robert. Thank you. This break they've got between the last game, like the Army-Navy game, and the bowl games. Instead of doing that so much of a break, make a playoff out of it. I mean, you can take, like you said, 25 teams, and you can make a playoff out of it. And you can end up by New Year's, or maybe a little bit later. I mean, what is it? The week after, it's the second week in January when they play the national championship game. So you could do that. I don't see a problem with that. And everybody's like, well, they're not going to give up the sponsors. They don't want to. The NCAA doesn't want to lose a sponsor for the bowl game. They make the freaking playoffs bowl games now. The 2 semifinal games are actually Orange Bowl and something else. I think they rotate it. But they're actual bowl games. You could get all these crappy bowl games, and it would probably sponsor. You'd probably get better sponsors. Nothing against you sponsors. The Pop-Tart Bowl, and I'm sorry, Carolina fans, but the Pop-Tart Bowl. I'm picking on the name. I mean, I never thought we'd see a Pop-Tart Bowl or something like that. Hockey can play 3 or 4 nights a week, which is a rough sport, and I don't even watch it. Yeah, I mean, that's true. But, you don't even have to give them, you can do it week by week and make it just last into mid-January. Give them a week off after the regular season ends, and then start it then. And, I mean, if you had 25 teams, I don't think it would take but like 4 weeks. I mean, it'll take a month to do it. It would make the season last longer, of course, and they would say, well, that's too hard on these guys. Well, guess what? They're going to do it when they get to the pros. They're going to have just as many weeks when they get to the pros as what they would have here. And you always hear about these rookies running into that rookie wall, and that would help that too. I mean, I don't know. Exactly what I'm talking about. Geared towards a high school playoff system. I mean, it will not. I don't think it would be a bad thing. But yeah, that can get you. I have strong feelings about this. And I am by no means a Florida State fan. FBS does do a great look. Go by the FBS, just like Robert said. Good point. Why can't you use the FBS system and then make each game a bowl game? I mean, and start them out like these games we're having in December. I mean, let me look at this bowl game schedule and read off some of these bowl game names. But yeah, I mean, make the bowl games, the sponsors, a little bit higher. Like when the bowl games, you start off with the ones that they're doing in the early games, the early bowl games. That's the first round, and then no, I mean, not even sponsor a round, sponsor a game. I mean, that way you don't have to lose. There's too many bowl games to start with. I'm sorry, there's too many bowl games to start with. So you need to cut back on some of this. I remember back in the day, they had a Blue Bonnet Bowl, and I was like, what the heck is the Blue Bonnet Bowl? I mean, you got Myrtle Beach Bowl. I mean, there's going to be New Orleans Bowl, Cure Bowl, New Mexico Bowl. These are not bad here. LA Bowl, Independence Bowl. Now, the Bahamas Bowl is temporarily renamed the famous Toastery Bowl, which is I had to look that up last night. Yeah. And that's another one. Rich Square Market Bowl, yeah. What about that, John Michael? Tell your dad to put up some cash. I get what you say here. And, you're going to punish. Here's another point, John. Let me ask you this, John Denton. Michigan's coach gets suspended twice during the season. They get caught. Evidently, something was up to enough with the sign stealing to where they suspended him again. But yet, you're not gonna keep him out of this college playoff. You're not gonna keep Michigan out of the playoffs. Okay, but you're gonna punish Florida State for having a third string quarterback. But these guys steal signs or whatever they did. They did the whole Houston Astro thing, and they're in the playoffs. So how is that right? And no offense to you Michigan fans out there, I'm just making some points here, but that have crossed my mind. I just don't understand it. Hey, you never know. Belichick could be is rumored to be on the way up. Do they get stiff? You talking about? That's what I'm saying. I mean, they put him in the playoffs, even though he's been suspended twice. They've done something 2 different times this year, and the NCAA just said, okay, they're in. And Michigan, what about, hey, you want to talk about the Eddie Guerrero philosophy, lie, cheat, and steal? What about the reaction of the Michigan players when they found out they had to play Alabama? Alabama is going to beat Michigan simply because Michigan's players did that little groan when they found out they had to play Alabama, like, oh God, like we're already beat. They are going into that game. You're talking about are you talking about UNC Duke basketball rivalry? Because football rivalry, I mean, the football games are always great games, but that intense rivalry in basketball is it. Yeah, I would agree. The basketball rivalry is better than the football rivalry. OSU Michigan, I'll agree with that. I'll go along with that. But yeah, I mean, Michigan is already intimidated by that Alabama. You don't think I do, John Michael. I mean, I may be a little bit, I'm around, I've seen more UNC Duke basketball than I have OSU Michigan. There's a lot of hatred. I mean, you remember the reactions that people had over I mean, when Carolina went to Cameron and beat Duke at Coach K's last game, the reactions that you saw online and the reactions of the crowd. I mean, girls from Duke flipping off Carolina players right there on the court. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty intense rivalry. That's another great quote right there. Yeah, they are who they thought we were. We let them off the hook. I remember that game. That was the Bears and Cardinals. With Matt Leinart, coach, and Kurt Warner were the quarterbacks for the Cardinals. Um, I mean, I don't know. It's it's something about this college football playoff, and I think next year, you're going to get a better situation for somebody that, but it doesn't change the fact that you got a Power Five conference champion, and they're out there undefeated, and they're not playing in this playoff system. You totally dropped the ball. NCAA totally dropped the ball. And who are these guys? You guys, go out and look up the selection committee guys. Tell me who they are and what makes them expert enough where they can pick it. I'll tell you what it is. They are like, they look at ratings. They look at who's going to make us so much money. I don't think there's an athletic one out there. What I saw, it didn't look like, I didn't recognize any names. You need to have some college. Somebody's got some kind of ties to college football. I'm not saying get some former coaches that have been. You can't have one that's definitely tied to a school for a while, but they've got to be unbiased. FSU probably so, John. I think so. After you win your conference, a Power Five conference, and you can't, the ACC could become thing of the past for long. I mean, I don't know, but I'm telling you this: the best thing the ACC could do, and you'll never see it happen. I mean, right now, if Georgia wins 45-10, I mean, why would Florida State even care? Why would they care now? I mean, Condoleezza Rice. Why would Georgia Alabama even care? Not Alabama, Florida State, excuse me. I mean, they went undefeated and they're not playing in the playoffs. There's a rumor. There's a big time rumor that they're going to forfeit that game. And you know what? I can't say I blame them on this part. If they're going to let a freaking quarterback or players sit out because they're scared they're going to get hurt, I would send. Do you think FSU's hurting for money? No, they're not hurting for money. If they want to prove a point to the NCAA, then forfeit the game. See what the NCAA thinks about. You know how much the Orange Bowl is paying the NCAA? I mean, FSU is not hurt for money. I can grant you that. I can grant you, but with NIL now, and look at all that alumni FSU's got, yeah, it's not. I don't think it's going to hurt them. Yeah, I mean that's fundraising fine for leaving ACC. Blame it on COVID. Let's not even. Let's hope that doesn't ever happen again. But yeah, it's a big old mess, is what it is, and you could have some of these guys on this board have some have some bad feelings about Florida State. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think it's right. Like I said, I really dislike Florida State. I mean, I'm not a fan at all. There's nobody. I'm not going into a game and saying, I'm putting for Florida State. I may would now. Let's say UNC would have won it with a healthy Drake May, a non-football school. Would they really? Right now, no. No. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about that because they really. I mean, you're a Carolina fan, and you know the whole Drake May thing. He was getting pushed hard at the start of the year, and then when Carolina kind of got in that slump, you didn't hear much about Drake May. I don't. The fact of the matter is, you'll never know, John. You'll never know. I mean, if Drake May is a bigger name, FSU's Wilson, I think, would be a top NFL receiver. FSU's got a habit of putting out good college receivers, but they did. Some of them didn't turn out as good in the pros. A lot of them did. I agree with that. He's throwing shots. Leave it to Greg. But yeah. All right, let's go over to pro football. And this is yesterday. Oh boy. And if there's any Chiefs fans out there, I'm sorry, but your quarterback showed his ass last night, and people didn't like it. And I'm one of them. Quarterback. Oof. Yeah. Wolfpecker. Mahomes. Okay, I've been a coach, high school football coach, for 15 years now. And one of the first things you tell your receivers is when you go out, when you split out, you check with that referee before. Make sure he's got you on. Make sure you're not offsides before we snap that ball. Kadarius Toney never checked. And guys, it's not the referee's job to make sure that you're onside. He's not required to do that. And this guy was so far offside that the referee said, you don't even tell him then. Which I don't understand that either. If you're going to tell him, that would be the one time tell him, hey, bud, you need to back up, really back up. I agree with you. Casey has gotten plenty of calls out, and now when they get one against the crowd, and they're talking about now with the Green Bay thing last week and this week, everybody's out to get the Chiefs. Nobody want bull crap. Good Lord, there's been so many calls that have went the Chiefs' way, and I'm gonna tell you this, Philadelphia Eagles fans, there've been a lot of calls that have gone your way this year. I, for one, thought for a while that they were setting it up for a rematch. They wanted the Chiefs and the Eagles in the Super Bowl, but after yesterday, I don't know. John, I'm gonna tell you this, John Michael. I'm gonna tell you this. I said this last year after Greg Greg. He's talking about you, Greg. Every time he sees your name, he's thinking it's Green Acres. Place to be, bud. I said it last year during that playoff run. The Chiefs are getting ready to take the place of the of the Patriots as a hated team by every other fan base but the Chiefs. And then Travis Kelce makes his little speech after the game, yelling at the Bengals owner or something like that. And then now with the whole Taylor Swift Kelce thing, everybody's sick of that. And now when you got that Mahomes with that Oompa Loompa haircut he's got, walking on the field right out there, he knows the cameras are there, and he's cussing and talking about a bad call, offside call. Yeah, was the guy offside? Yes, he was offside. It's either he's not offside or he is, and he was offside. How are you not going to call that? What do you want them to do? If the defense was offside, and granted, he thought that was a free play. When he saw that flag, he thought it was a free play. He thought that he could do whatever he wanted to. That's what ticked him off. I think me and you were talking about this today, Robert. He thought it was a free play, and they do the little lateral, and all the Chiefs fans go crazy. And then it gets called back, and then Oompa Loompa Mahomes goes crazy. And then you see him, TikTok showed him going back to the locker room, and he had that hair going, and it was just flopping back and forth. He was like, doing that. I'm like, dude, you don't know how unintimidating you are right now. Yeah, I don't want to say. Yes, I do. Why not? Why stop now? Yeah, you were talking about Hometown Nutrition and the Husky guys. Go check them out. Me and Robert are, sore loser. Josh Allen played a heck of a game. Played one of his best games of the year and beat you. And you're going to make comments like that when you go out to the field. You could have waited till after a BS offensive offsides play. Well, guess what? Let's go back and just look at every play the Chiefs have had during the season this year and see how many questionable calls we've seen there. I know Robert sent me one early in the year. Mahomes scrambling out of the pocket, and a wide receiver for the Chiefs grabs hold of one of the defenders and just pulls him out of bounds with him. Well, guess what? That's holding. Didn't get called. A.J. Brown most over. Okay. Oh, okay. I got you, John. Who now? You're a Cowboys fan, right? We're gonna get to that in a second. Most overrated wide receiver. Wow. Okay, I hear you. Ryan Tannehill, he said something about a board. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. That's what he said. We're not something about a bullshit offsides at the handshake. That's what he was talking about. What I was saying. He made that comment to to Allen, and Allen was just sitting there like he didn't know what he was talking about. I don't blame him. That was disrespectful and unclassy. Super Bowl last year. Nobody said anything. Mahomes didn't say anything about that. Pass interference to win the game for the Chiefs. Nobody said it. He didn't say anything about that, did he? No. He didn't get to midfield and talk about that. But that's the way it goes, bud. I am not a Chiefs fan. I didn't mind the Chiefs winning, the first couple years. But you have a habit of when you get a team like that, especially Mahomes and the whole, his wife and his brother-in-law or whatever. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired of him. But glad to see his true colors showed up on the field. He should apologize to Josh Allen, because when you go out to these guys back in the day, you didn't hear them I mean, I can understand his son loves Patrick. I'm no offense, but I'm not a Mahomes fan. Like I mean, I didn't mind him at first, and he's a great player. But this crap they did after his first 3 years, and he's one of the all-time greats. They're putting him up there above some of these guys that have I mean, like above Marino, just because he's won some Super Bowls. Yeah, he's good. He really is good. He's a great player. But I don't think he could hang up with Marino. It's a totally different game. But, even I'm not a John Elway fan, but I think John Elway was a better quarterback than Mahomes. I'm just biased. I'm one of those old farts. I'm one of those old, like, grumpy old men. In my day, that's how I feel about the whole situation. But yeah, that was not good. I'm looking up here. Got a lot of comments coming in. I'm looking to see if I'm missing any on another page. But I think everybody's just coming in pretty good. Let me see. Yeah, everybody's coming in. You know what? I can't stand the Patriots. Not a big fan of Brady at all, but Brady is up there probably in my top three. He did something, and to do it at the age of that he did and still putting out like he was, I've got respect. I don't like him, but I got respect for him. Nothing but respect for Brady as far as that goes. He definitely kept my guys out of a lot of Super Bowls. Yeah, with two different teams. And everybody made that comment. Well, I wonder if Brady can win without Belichick or if Belichick can win without Brady. Well, guess what? Brady won without Belichick. Belichick hasn't done jack crap without Brady. And probably going to be out of New England after this year. So, let's talk about the Sunday night game. Dallas and Philadelphia. At Dallas. Oh, yeah, Brady made Belichick. You're right. I agree. Now everybody sees that. Um, God, Robert, I'm hoping the Panthers have got better sense than do that. I mean, that's a big name, but if the Panthers were going to take a chance with somebody, why not go after the offensive coordinator for the Lions, that Ben Johnson guy? They were after him last year, and he decided to stay. I think he'll go this time. Cowboys and Eagles. Everybody talked about it. Cowboys haven't beat any good teams. And I think the Cowboys heard that, and they were fired up last night. I mean, you could tell from the first play they were fired up, and they wanted to prove a point, and they did. I mean, they put it on the Eagles. I mean, really put it on the Eagles. Eagles have played two good teams now and got shelled. I mean, I don't think the whole Jalen Hurts aura is there anymore. Getting blown out 2 weeks in a row by the 49ers and Cowboys. And Cowboy fans, look, and savor the moment. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. And I know it's not all Cowboy fans, but don't walk around. Don't forget, not too long ago, everybody's getting you hyped up, and with good reason. You're a really good team, great defense. Dak is playing, and I've been a big critic of Dak. Dak is playing as well as I've ever seen him play. But guess what? It wasn't that long ago the 49ers beat you 42-10 on a Sunday night. And it was a whitewashing. When you get all this Super Bowl talk, and I know it's not the team, but make sure you remember that that game. Remember that game. 49ers are playing really good. 49ers are playing probably the best football out of anybody right now. Brock Purdy is back on track. I mean, that defense is stellar. Watch out for the 49ers. I'm just all I'm saying, Cowboy fans, is you'll probably win the NFC East. And you've got to get over that, or you can't win in the playoffs. You got to get over that. And then, guess what? The team that put you out the last 2 years is probably going to be right up there. It's probably going to be a rematch with them. Just saying. NFC right now, to me, is the cream of the crop. They're the top two teams in the NFC. What is Dallas and the 49ers? And then you take the top two teams in the AFC, the Ravens, and who's number two? The Dolphins. You put those two against each other, no way. I mean, 49ers would beat the Ravens. The Cowboys would beat the Ravens. Cowboys and Dolphins, I think we're going to see soon. 49ers and Dolphins, I think the 49ers will win. Cowboys can beat the Dolphins too. I mean, the Cowboys secondary is stacked. Gilmore, Bland, and just think if you still have what's his name? I can't remember his name now. He got hurt early on in the season. If he was there, I mean, and then you got Michael Parsons putting the pressure on. I don't think anybody in the AFC can compete with them top two teams. I'm sorry. Chiefs, no. Bills, who knows what Bills team's going to show up. Right now, the Chiefs could not beat the 49ers. No way. I don't care if it's an Arrowhead or what. The Chiefs are going through a phase right now with, what they lost 2 in a row, lost to the Packers. And the Packers, look, let me tell you, Packers are coming around, bud. Watch out for them Packers. They may throw. I think they're going to make the playoffs. Purdy and Debo play their potential. I don't think they will have a problem going to the Super Bowl. Debo played his butt off yesterday, but he let his emotions get the best of him yesterday too. And look, the thing they kicked him out for was, oh my gosh, did you guys see that? He was, he just grabbed the guy's face mask and then pushed it, and they kicked him out for that. I was like, I've seen a lot worse happen and nobody get ejected. But let me see, what do we got going on? Kind of close this up. I've had a great time. If we could get this crew in here every night that I do an update, it would be awesome. John Denton, John Michael, Robert, Greg, Eric, who else? Robert, Dave, Robbie Birdsong. Just, yeah, you guys come in here whenever I do an update, that would be awesome. I love this kind of conversation. We're working on some stuff with the Final Score podcast. If you guys want to check us out, subscribe to the YouTube channel for the Final Score. And then, guys, we're still, I told you when we started doing the Triple Threat Main Event, the wrestling podcast with my buddies Warden and Jack Pinocchio, the hitman from Down Under. We are trying to do that. We're trying to get an episode up. It's kind of hard to do it too often with the time difference between Pinocchio's in Australia. So we have to do it on like a Friday or Saturday night, because if we do it on Friday night at like 8 o'clock, it's midday for him in Australia. So we have to do it like that. We're trying to get that situated. Oh, excuse me. But we're going to have some more coming out. I actually got one. When I got sick, I got behind on putting that up. So there is another episode of the Triple Threat Main Event coming up. Best entrance songs, top 10 entrance songs. If you guys can catch that live, you'll get to see that soon. We also have an episode coming up on the fly with 4-time guest. She's been on here more than anybody. She did Noelle Tolan, country music singer Noelle Tolan was on. If you missed that live, you get to see that. And she talked about her music video, You're an Arrow. And if you haven't checked that out, make sure you check it out. Noelle Tolan. We talked about that, and we gave our top 10 favorite music videos of all time, which was great. And I've got some other stuff working. We got some interviews coming up this week in an episode of On the Fly, and an interview for On the Fly coming up later in the week, which I don't think I'll be live on, but you guys will get to enjoy that. Anyway, guys, make sure you check all of give us Christmas is right around the corner. And what better Christmas gift could you give me than to write? If you want to listen to the podcast, look it up wherever you listen to your podcast at, and give us a 5-star review. That helps me more than anything. You don't have to give money, anything like that. All you got to do is take just about a minute and a half out of your time and go give a 5-star review to On the Fly and to The Final Score. And then subscribe to the YouTube channels. Not hard to find. Not many people called On the Fly there or The Final Score. You'll see our logos up there and be able to find it. And I've got the links on our social media, Facebook and everything. But yeah, please do that for us. That'll be a great Christmas present for us. Hopefully you guys are enjoying everything. I think, like I said, I've enjoyed it tonight. It's always great to get guys in here talking and debating. Like I said, John, even though we don't agree, it's not going to, I appreciate you coming in here. Don't know you. I know you know Greg. Sorry about Greg, but sorry that you know Greg. But yeah, Greg's all right. I like Greg. I think a lot of Greg. But come back anytime. Check us out. But guys, oh, well, look, let me talk about that. Ohtani gets that $700 million contract and what, foregoes all, but he's going to get the $680 million the last year of his contract. So I guess he's trying to save some cap room so they can go get some of these other players. That is a great move by him. I mean, that right there tells you, I've said this all along with people with salary cap. We talked about it before when Jalen Hurts got his big contract. Do you want to get this big contract and then take up all this cap room, or do you want to kind of situate your contract and then be able to get pieces around you to win a Super Bowl? And the Dodgers are doing that. He's doing that. Yeah, he'll be getting paid Bobby Bonilla will be getting paid. Yeah, I mean, no salary cap, but still, they don't have all that money. I mean, the Dodgers got some money, but they don't have enough money to pay him all that per year and then go out and get a bunch of guys to help him contend. That was it. Ain't it a luxury tax though? And that's another thing. And you may disagree with me on this. I think there should be a salary cap in baseball. I mean, I've been saying that for years. Make it so who gets big markets in the luxury tax. Yeah. But because, I mean, the Yankees for years, tell me how many Yankees that they had over that span that came through a farm system besides Jeter. Those guys that the Yankees have in World Series teams were guys that they just said, okay, when these guys are all-stars on these other teams, these smaller market teams, and their contract comes up, we'll just offer them all this money. And no, they can't. I mean, if you're getting paid a lot more money to go play for the Yankees, you're going to go. You're not going to stay. Kansas City offers you some money, and then the Yankees offer you 3 times as much. You're going to go to the Yankees. I'm sorry. And I don't like the Yankees. I'm not a Yankees fan at all. So, I mean, but that's just the fact of the matter. So Cano I thought Cano came from somewhere else. But anyway, majority of those guys have been guys from other teams that were stars on other teams, and they They rated their rosters. It's happened so many times over the year. Look at was it Giambi? Jason Giambi? Not Jeremy. Big time star with the A's. The A's couldn't pay him that money. So there's no way the A's could have paid him what the Yankees did. It's, I don't know if he did too much when he was with the Yankees, but anyway. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here early. You lost vertigo to the Yankees, Red Sox. Yeah, isn't that like sacrilegious to play for the Red Sox and then go play for the Yankees? I don't know. I would feel kind of. I mean, I know Johnny Damon did it, but I don't know. That would be kind of weird for me if I had been a big time star with the Red Sox in that rivalry and then went to the Yankees to play. I don't know. Yeah, guys, it's going to be an early morning tomorrow morning. So gonna pack it up for tonight. But like I said, keep your eyes and ears open. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to us. Follow us. Follow the podcast, all the podcasts, and then give us that 5-star review. And we guys will see you next time on The Fly, the final score, and the triple threat main event.